everyone, and welcome to this lecture, which is on me doing a demonstration of an aura reading. But I'm just going to use this picture here from technology. But what I will say is it is helpful because one of the things it does is actually allows you to see that there will be patterns of energy through the body that generates out into the aura. So if you were doing hand sensing on this person, one spot you might feel some low energy, however you're going to feel that. Other spots you're going to feel some high energy, like the purples and those dark blues would represent. And what you're going to be doing, remember, is developing your own dictionary of your sensations. So like your own encyclopedia, I guess would be a better word, of your sensations, so that you get used to how do you feel like this color? What does that feel like when you're doing hand sensing? But let's just have a little lowdown here on this particular picture in front of you. I did give you this one in an earlier lecture just to get you to take a look and see what you thought the colors meant. So now you're going to get the actual reading in a simple terms, not what I would sit for an hour and do with somebody. So here we are. I got the scale on the side here. As you can see, average energy is green. Optimal is the nice turquoise blue. And remember also I mentioned about quality of color. Is it dark? Is it muddy? Is it hazy? So let's just start over here. Looking at him, the physical is actually one of the easiest things to see. And when it's in the lovely gray color, which means fatigued, a chronic condition. So you can see around the neck here, we've got lots of gray. We have it extending out in the shoulders, up into there. And at the very back, if we could actually see the organs that would be the template for this aura picture, that represents the cerebellum. And then we've got the neck, and here it would actually represent the liver in this particular aura technology. And you can see another little spot of gray here. So what I'll tell you about that is this person has been constantly in the mindset over a long period of time. And the person's age at this time was, I believe it was 19. He was holding this pattern for quite some time. He does have a neck injury, which actually represents inflexibility. Not wanting to see the big picture, only wanting to see things one way. So we can see that in his picture. We have some other physical conditions that actually will show us that that is true, and that is in around some joints. We see we have some purple, which is a very high level here, and we have some darker blue up there. So high energy sitting there, so muscle tension. And you can actually see it. You can see the line here of the change in energy right by the knee joint there. So inflexibility again is showing through there. So let's go on to another area. Let's take a look at this fella's head area in here, the brain. Draw your attention to first, as you can see this red color in here. Nice red. See down here, nice red. If it was that beautiful red, it could mean passion. But when we got a red like this, it is a little muddy, and it also means a fatigued state or a tired state. It isn't gray yet, but if he continues to be more tired, it will go into the gray section there, meaning it's totally fatigued. So he's pretty tired. And you can actually see on some of these outer ones here that would actually represent temporal brain, but they're actually dark and kind of muddy. So if you remember about the quality colors, that muddy means resentment, and the dark, underlying dark, means anger. So it's looking like this person, has got some angry thoughts going on. Maybe they've tired themselves out on being so negative. Now you'll see that we had from the reds, which is a low energy, down here, and you've got some spiked up higher energies right here, darker blue. So he's got a little storm going on. I wouldn't be surprised if this guy had a headache, maybe he has one at this point, or he's definitely headed to one. So there's a physical symptom of the energy of all his negative thinking coming to a head. The other thing is with this red area in here, he couldn't possibly have an epiphany. So a high level thought. If he was trying to figure out what he wanted to do in life, this wouldn't be the time that he was going to figure that out, because the energy is too scattered through the brain. Often we think that we do thinking in the brain. So in the brain, it's not going to fire up. Those neurons aren't going to fire and be able to put things together right now because it's too all over the place. We're going to take a look at the body part here. In this case, we mean below the neck. If you notice something about the colors all on through there, muddy, the darkish muddy side. So his resentment that we picked up that was going on in his head, those thoughts, have created the same environment in his body. Those photon emissions are not very harmonic at all. They're actually offset. They're on a high range because they're a purple. So he's holding a lot of this in. There's a lot of anger and resentment is being withheld. And I can tell you during our session, there was somebody there that he might not want to know about how angry he actually felt. Even though other people in the room, my friend who's a homeopath was there, and she feels this from him too. You couldn't help but feel that from him. But this fella made lots of changes in 1 year. At this time, though, he's really angry, and you can see it there in the picture. He's like a volcano. Those purple, that energy is getting ready to erupt. And it will cause a whole bunch of other things. If he hangs on to this, physical symptoms are going to show up because that energy is going to manifest into more physical forms the longer it stays the same. It'll start to build onto that into more physical. So releasing that segment there, let's take another look around here. Above the head, I'm traveling back up to that head. Above there, you see this lovely yellow. Isn't that nice? It's actually a pretty nice yellow. Now, the one thing about that is, on here it says yellow is a lower energy. But in this case, when it's up above the crown chakra, like if you were putting your hand down there and you'd felt this sensation, what you're probably going to feel from him is you're going to feel intellectual. There'll be certain things that you will start to get used to. What does it mean? What kind of signs for you could be an intellectual person? What are you sensing in your hand? What's popping up in your mind? This person's an intellectual, but unfortunately he's so filled with anger he can't move forward, and he's resenting everything right now. So he's really stuck, and he's gonna get ready to blow up like a volcano or explosion, whatever it is. He needs to find an outlet, and he does have a very critical and intellectual minded mind, but obviously critical side isn't about questioning in a good way, it's questioning in a very negative way, and it's very held in. So we can look at one other spot, because I think you're getting the idea. If we look here in this aura technology, this would be the spine. But if you had this person in a session and doing their aura reading and you had your hand down by their spine, you're going to feel a sensation that would be indicative of someone not trusting themselves or not feeling supported in their family. The spine, being bone and osseous tissue, belongs to root chakra. And the root chakra is family and friends, the clan. And so this person's holding a lot of energy in there, as you can see. So there's a lot of resentment against somebody in the family or a close friend. And because of it, they're feeling like they're in their way. They think whoever that is in their way. So it's like the other person's trying to support so much that it's a real problem for them, and they're resenting it. So you can actually see placement of where you feel an energy. Like in this case, that root chakra is right here. The spine belongs to that. Bones belong to that. Blood flow, and this guy's blood flow is not too well. It's really, he'd be like somebody, if he hangs on to this, he's going to have high blood pressure. You could also look in the sacral chakra, which is about there, the place of the self, and it's in upheaval too. So wherever he wants to go to, he just doesn't feel it's going to happen. Even if he did know it, which apparently looks like right now he doesn't. Then the place of balance. He doesn't have any balance at all. You can see it's gray in that area there where the sacral chakra would be, where the energy from it would feed those organs and glands. And you know, his heart's in hyperdrive. In the throat chakra area, he's just tired of talking. He doesn't want to talk about it, and he's just shut it in, as you can see through here. Third eye, interesting. He does have some nice turquoise. It's actually not, the quality's not so bad. So this guy is actually fairly intuitive, but he's shutting it all down. And eventually things are going to happen. And then we have, as I said, the crown up here. And to that we would, if we had the person in here, we would sense that if we were around by the top of their head. So there you have it. We can put the chakras in here, get to know what areas of the body belong to those chakras, and then when you're doing your energy scanning, you're feeling these sensations in different areas, you can actually put those things together, which is not the next assignment, which is in the next lecture, but the one following, your grand assignment of an aura reading with chakras integrated with the aura reading, but on somebody that you'll have physically present. So any questions, please post them, and stay tuned for the next lecture where I'm going to be posting your assignment that you're going to do similar to how I've done this one here. See ya very shortly.